Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. We're going to be diving into Lucid Trading and the accounts they have to offer. This has been a hot topic lately, especially in the trading community, because they have a new platform called TradeSea. So this is going to be similar to trading inside of TradingView or similar to the Top Step X platform. We're going to go into a live example of TradeSea at the end of the video, so make sure you are watching the whole video. If you guys have any questions, leave it down in the comment section. As always, you can come join us live for New York session. We trade each and every single morning live inside of our community. And then also, I do have to preface the video. This is in no way financial advice whatsoever. I am not a financial advisor. Trading comes with a large amount of risk, and you solely take on that risk when you decide to trade. So now let's jump into these accounts and understand a little bit about them. And I'm going to tell you guys what account I love the most. So we have the Pro account, the Black account, and the Flex account. There is a direct account, meaning it's just a straight to funded. There is no evaluation phase. You're paying a high dollar cost to have no evaluation. One thing I want to point out about these direct accounts is that there is a 20% consistency rule in each of these accounts, and there is also a 8-day trading window, meaning you have to trade 8 days before you can get a payout. So understanding that as well. Also, you can have up to 5 accounts on each of these if you would like to. So if you wanted to go with Pro, you could have 5 Pro. If you wanted Black, you could have 5 Black. If you wanted Flex, 5 Black, or 5 Flex, excuse me. Or you can do a combination of both, 2 and 2 and 1, however you see fit. Just all together, you can only have 5 accounts. So now let's go and let's understand exactly what account I like, why I like it, and that's going to be the Flex account. So the top reasons I love this account is there is no daily loss limit, and there is no consistency rule once you are funded. So yes, in the evaluation phase, there is a 50% consistency rule. What does that mean basically for you as a trader? So let's say that you have a 25K account. That means you can make around $625 per day or $650 per day to fulfill this rule. And how do we figure that out? What is an easy way to do that? A lot of people get confused with this, so we're just going to make it extremely visual for everybody. So your largest day cannot be more than 50% of the total profit needed. So if we had the 1250 and we say divided by 2, that's going to give us the 625, right? Now, if we go over this, right? We go over this number. What does that do to the profit target? Typically, it just will increase the profit target by, depending on how much you went over it, okay? Does that mean you have to make $625 in one day? Absolutely not, right? Now let's say you have the $3,000 profit target. We know that that's $1,500. So we say divided by 2, $1,500. That's how this works, right? That's for anybody new to the game. I know it looks confusing. It really is not. But again, does that mean you have to make $1,500 in one day? No, it does not. It means that you cannot go over $1,500. If you go over $1,500, it is not a hard breach, but it will increase the profit target required to become funded. So there is a scaling plan once you are funded. So once you're funded, there is a scaling plan. Let's see if we can get this to hover. There we go. So with a 50K account, anything below $1,000, you can use 2 minis or 20 micros. Anything above $1,000, you're allowed to use 3 minis or 30 micros. And anything above $2,000 in the account, you can use 4 minis or 40 micros. Now let's understand, why do I not like the Black and the Pro? So let's dive into this just a little bit. So I do like the idea that, you know, you could pass this in 2 days, again, still 2. It's 60% consistency rule. So they're giving you a little bit of flexibility, so you can go over the $1,500 here if you chose to, however you see fit. But once we get into funded, there is a 40% consistency rule. Why do I not choose this over choosing the flex? And one thing I did not point out with these flex accounts, moving to a live, you get 6 payouts and then you're moved to live. With the Lucid Black, it's a little bit less. It's 4 payouts to live. The only thing with this, and you know, everybody's very different. If you have something that you consistently do every single day and you show up to the market, consistency rules may not bother you, right? But for me, I do have plans and rules I do follow, but realistically, there's times when the market goes in my favor and it's, you know, building and building and building, and then I find myself chasing this consistency rule. So if you don't have a problem with that, of course, as always, this could be the account for you. The other nice thing about the black accounts is that you could get paid double. It's after the second payout and beyond, which is definitely nice if that's what you're looking to do. But with the second payout and beyond, how many double payouts can you get until you're moved to live anyways? And we're going to go over the live as well, so make sure you stick around for that. Now let's understand the pro accounts. So with the pro accounts, they do have daily loss limits. I don't like daily loss limits. You know, if my trade goes the wrong direction and, you know, I have $2,000 in drawdown, but it takes me out at $1,200, and then I'm left with, you know, $800 left. And so it just makes it a very tight style of trading for me that I just don't like. If you have no issues with that, then of course this could potentially be a way for you to, I mean, go with this account if you chose to, right? If you don't have a problem with daily loss limits, and then also understanding that there is a daily loss limit 60% above the peak end of day, so below the initial trail. It's again requiring 5 days to pay out, so I'd rather just go with flex and have those same 5 days to pay out of $150 or more. And then it's the same idea. You have 6 payouts until you are moved to live. One thing about the pro account that differs from the flex account, if you guys didn't catch that, is that there's no scaling plan. Okay, so there's no scaling plan with these. So it really depends on where you want to be with this. Can you see yourself scaling with the flex accounts and not having an issue with that? Or do you want access to all 4 contracts, or all 2 contracts, or all 6 contracts? So understanding where you sit with that. So the main difference with these are going to be the pro account is going to have the daily loss limit and it's going to have no scaling plan. Lucid Flex is going to have no daily loss limit, end of day drawdown, and it's not going to have, and it's going to have the scaling plan. So it's really understanding what works for you. So now let's go over and let's understand exactly how you get a payout with the flex accounts and what are the maximums and the minimums needed. So we understand that we need $100, maybe $150 a day to have it count as a trading day, right? As a profitable day. There is 5 trading days required. They do not need to be consecutive. They can be, you know, 3 and 2, whatever it works for you. They just do not have to be consecutive. Okay, net profit in the payout cycle. So say you took a payout and you're getting ready to take another payout. There has to be a net profit of even just $1 during each payout cycle in order to request your payout. Of course, understanding too that you have to meet these minimums, but your net positive, right? Net profit has to be at least even just $1 or more. And then the payout minimums and maximums. So the minimum payout is going to be $500, and taking into account that you can request 50% of your account balance. So understanding that this $500, to get to the 50%, you're going to have $1,000 in the account. So now for a 25K account, To get 50% of $1,000 for the maximum payout allowed, you're going to need to have $2,000 in the account. So we know we have to have 5 trading days. We know that we have to have $100 or more per day. And if we're trying to get max payout, what does that look like? Understanding the math required to utilize these prop firms to their fullest extent is going to be extremely helpful. So if the bare minimum, that looks like $400 a day. So $400 times 5, that's giving us $2,000 in the account. So then we're eligible to take that $1,000 out. And don't scoff at the idea that, oh man, it's only $1,000 a week, right? You can have up to 5 of these accounts, right? You can trade all of these accounts simultaneously, and it comes to your 5th day and you're taking $5,000 out instead of just $1,000 on an account. Again, and we go from here. If we wanted the $2,000 profit, the full profit, we know that we'd need $4,000 in the account. What does that do to our daily profit target? Again, that would move it to an $800 days for 5 days. Obviously, could you make more than that in a day? Absolutely. And the idea that there is no consistency rule inside of these, so you're able to, if it's a good day and market is going with you, then you can scale into these, and or, you know, depending on where you're at with the amount in your account, depending, you know, you have to follow that scaling plan with profits. So understanding that as well. So we have an understanding of how we get paid out, right? And we know that once we get paid out, that it comes out of our accounts within a few minutes. I love this idea. I love that it comes out of the account, so I'm not nervous to trade my account and have it drop, and then potentially I get denied a payout. So now let's look at live and understand the transition to live. So after that 6th payout, you could be transitioned to live, understanding that there are caps to be moved to live. And there is a good example here. If you are moved with a 50K account and you say you have $8,000 in the account, right? Or excuse me, it's saying 10,000. So the max you can be moved into live with is $8,000. So if you have 5 accounts, you're moving into that account with $40,000. So the day one capital is going to be that $12,000. So that's $2,400 times those 5 accounts. Your remaining balance, that's going to be held in escrow. So they like to do something where they have a live escrow. So they're going to be holding funds inside of this account until you complete certain parameters. So what are those parameters? Before escrow can begin releasing, you must meet 2 requirements. You have to complete 10 profitable trading days in your live account, and you have to earn $10,000 in live trading profits. So with that being said, is that something that's doable over 10 days? Depending on your trading style, what you've been trading, it's quite possibly $1,000 a day, very doable. Does it have to be done in 10 days? No, you just have to show that you have 10 profitable days. And then for every 10,000 in additional live profits earned, 5,000 in escrow will be released. So it's reviewed by the risk team, and $5,000 will be given each 10 days. So we can see that if you've moved with your $40,000 and they've taken out $12,000, you still have that $28,000, so $5,000 each time. So think of it as like a bonus every 10 days. I like this idea. I think it's a great way to really build resilience and understand yourself, and not just, like they say, YOLO trade, or just go into this and try to, you know, get all this money all at once. You're building yourself as a trader. So I really like the discipline that is required to do this. It kind of makes you take a step back and understand, okay, so now when we go over to the TradeSea platform, let's go over here and let's check this out. We're going to wait for this to load, and we're going to understand how this looks. So let's go ahead and let's close this out, and let's go back to one screen so we can kind of see what this looks like. Okay, we're on gold. We're on a 15-second chart, so you can choose which type of chart you would like to be on. The indicators available are going to be a little less than what is available on the actual TradingView platform. So understanding that as well, but all of the tools seem to be the same. So if you want to come and star them and start building out your little handy toolbar here. So these are some of the things I like to have for easy access on my toolbar. I like to have my projection tools for a short and a long position. And then I also like to come in here and get my rectangular tool and have that up here as well. This is primarily how I use my charts on TradingView. If we go and we look at my TradingView chart, we can see that I have the exact same toolbar right here. So here's our toolbar. The only thing I don't have on there yet is the Gann box. So let's go find our Gann box and put that on here as well. Here's our Gann box, and you can adjust these as well. So we can move these around. So we have Gann box, our fib, and then our lines, projection tools, and our rectangular tool. So now when we come and we draw our rectangulars, we can come into settings and make sure it is extending left and right. So we have areas that we can have marked up. So it has the measuring tool as well. You can see that this is clearly a demo account. We do have my Lucid accounts here. I don't want to click into them because it might show my account numbers, and I don't feel like going in and editing them out. Know that they're up right now and they're doing great. So now let's talk about entries and exits and how this looks when we're trading this. So we'll go down, actually we're going to go over to NASDAQ, and we're going to, just because it will move faster for the purpose of sharing this. So we've hit somewhat of a consolidation point here, and I'm sure if we draw a rectangle and zoom out, we can see that it has been a significant area of interest. So now what can we expect here? Either we're going to break here and we're going to continue to buy since we've been buying all morning, or we're going to finally reject here. So let's go ahead and let's come over to NQ and kind of see where we're at. And we could say, okay, well, we think we might finally sell off. So let's go ahead and let's put a sell on, and let's look at the targets now. And how do you use this, right? So with the take profit, you are just dragging and dropping. So here is our take profit. We can see how much money we would make. And then now our stop loss. So the stop loss, again, drag and drop. And with the stop loss, you can move this into profit, and you can see it'll say plus 130, 160, 210, right? You can say, okay, well, I'm moving it here. We got stopped out, right? We made some profit. Another nice thing about this, if you're familiar with trading in TradingView or using Top Step X, the platform, you could say, okay, I'm going to set a limit order to, let's just say buy, since it's really just trying not to. So let's see if we can get, oh, we got filled already. So we're filled again. So now we can again come in here, set our TP, and then set our stop loss. And then we could potentially just move immediately to break even or in some profit if we want to see, okay, well, price is turning around, and then we can adjust these as price moves in our favor. So pretty nice. I do like the idea of using this, and you can change your lot sizes here. There is the scalp, the order. You can turn the dark theme on. You can make it, I think you can change the theme, maybe. Maybe it's not letting us. Maybe it's just saying it wants to be dark theme. Maybe it's in the settings if you want to change any of this. Trying to think if there's anything else. If I missed anything and you guys want me to go over anything, you obviously can leave it down in the comments, or you can just hit the buy. There is a reverse button, so we can go ahead and check that out too. So once it buys, I think it will just close the position out and then reverse it immediately. So that's a pretty cool little thing that it allows, so I think you could scalp really quickly with having a reverse button. So, and then there's flatten all, cancel all, close position. You can have it open down here and we could close this here. So very, very user friendly. So really excited that Lucid has brought this and made this available for us. So if you guys have, again, any questions or anything I did not go over, feel free to drop it down in the comments, but definitely one of the nicer prop firms to go with. So that's going to be it for the Lucid breakdown, and I will see you guys in the next video.